Hello everybody. Not a very exciting video today. We're going to be talking about marksmanship fundamentals. So, I want to cover some topics moving into the future, and I feel like I would be skipping over information if I didn't talk about marksmanship fundamentals before I got into all that. So, we're going to cover sight alignment, sight picture, shooting positions briefly. There'll be another video later. Natural point of aim, breathing control, trigger control, and speed versus accuracy. All right. Sight alignment is the alignment of your eye and the sights and the target. All those things have to be in a line so that your bullet can travel in a straight line from your chamber to your target, right? So we have to have proper head position, we have to have proper cheek weld, and we have to have proper reference points. Allow me to kind of demonstrate what I mean with some of that. All right, so first of all, our head position, we want to kind of come like that and then come down, right? We don't want to just tilt our head down like that or try and be way back here, which are common things I see. Having a proper head position is going to build a proper cheek weld on the stock. Like this. Give me a little chipmunk chink. Okay? And then once I find that position, I have reference points. I have reference of where the stock is on my face, where my face is on the stock, where the butt stock is on my shoulder, right? How far my nose is from the optic, the charging handle. So once I learn my rifle, my optic system, I can adjust, and once I get that good, I learn my reference points, and then every time I go to grab the gun and put it up on sight, on target, I'm looking to feel for those same reference points again. Sight picture is referring to the actual image that you're going to be perceiving when you're taking that shot. Right, so talking about iron sights, this is like standard Glock or pistol sights right here, right? We want the front sight post to be centered and level with the rear notch, right? So it's not sticking up and it's not way down below. It's leveled, and then we want even centered, right? So even space on either side, perfectly centered. And then we're going to put the top tip of that front sight post in the center of the target, right? Just like this. Correct. All right, if we have a assault rifle aperture style sight, peep style sight, it's similar concept. We're going to draw on imaginary crosshairs in our circular aperture that we have, right? And we're going to want to place our front sight post, the very tip center of that, right on the middle of the bullseye, right? So our front sight post is basically center aligned where the bottom of a 4-pronged crosshair would be. Does all that make sense? Hope so. Okay. Shooting position. When you're building a proper shooting position, there are some fundamental laws that always apply, right? The lower you are to the ground, the better. The less amount of sway you're going to have, right? So be as low to the ground as you can be and still be able to see the target. The more points of contact you have, the better. The more points of contact you have with the ground, the more points of contact you have with the rifle, and the more points of contact you have with yourself, right? The less gaps in space there is, the more stuff you have filling everything up. The more points of contact you have, the better. When you're putting your body on top of yourself, right, like your knees on your elbows, most commonly, we want to do muscle on bone, not bone on bone, right? I'll get into a shooting position video later, but I just felt like I needed to say this in this video. All right, lastly, do not muscle your gun. Build a position that has a good natural point of aim, which is the next topic. So to find where your natural point of aim is going to be for that position that you've been in, you're going to want to build yourself a good position. When you feel like you're on target, close your eyes, take a breath, open your eyes. Check your sight picture, okay? If it has adjusted wildly off target, you do not have a good natural position, and you are muscling the gun on target. So you need to adjust how you're holding the gun, scoot your butt around, whatever the case is. Make adjustments as necessary to align yourself as needed. Again, do not muscle the gun. All right, breathing control. Breathing control. We have a natural respiratory pause. When you are breathing and talking and walking around in your daily life, you're not constantly breathing in and out. You're not going, right? That's somebody that's like panting or panicking. So normally you breathe in, you breathe out. That gives your body some oxygen. And then you don't breathe. You talk and you whatever, do a thing for 3 to 5 seconds. And then you breathe in, you breathe out. And then there's another pause for 3 to 5 seconds, right? We can extend this natural respiratory pause, right? We're not holding our breath in, but we're going to take a big breath. We're going to highly oxygenate our lungs and our blood. If we've been running or something, we're going to take a few big breaths, try and calm our breathing down. So then we're going to blow it all the way out. And then we're going to have a long pause, right? If nothing crazy is going on and I just took a nice big breath, let it all the way out, I should be able to exhale and just not breathe in again for a solid 10 seconds without it starting to feel weird at all, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're shooting in between breaths. We're not breathing in and holding it, which is causing us to be all shaky, all right? We're just breathing in, breathing out. In that natural respiratory pause, we're going to take the shot. Wonderful. If you don't get the shot in that natural respiratory pause, no big deal. Finger off the trigger, take a couple more breaths, do another big breath in, big breath out. Good natural respiratory pause, take the shot on that one, so on and so forth. Trigger control, a slow, steady squeeze, right? So we want to squeeze that trigger, not a slap or a jerk, right? We're not doing anything crazy like that where we're like jerking the whole gun. We're trying to quick. We're not quick trigger squeezing. It's not what we're doing. Even when we're shooting fast, we're not like flinchy trigger squeezing. Basically never. All right. We're going to want to take up slack. If it's a 2-stage trigger, there literally will be a wall there. Even if it's not, a lot of times you can kind of, there's a little bit of give in the trigger. You can kind of take it up some creep and then hold at the wall. Do your natural respiratory pause. Get your sight alignment perfect. And then finish slowly squeezing that trigger until it goes off. Once the rifle goes off, we're going to hold the trigger to the rear during the recoil impulse to make sure, this is to drive home that we're not jerking or slapping or squeezing the trigger. And then as the rifle is settling back down on target, we're going to slowly let go of the trigger, allow the trigger to reset, and attempt to find our targets with our sights again. All right. Speed versus accuracy. So all this is basic marksmanship, and it's prioritizing accuracy. So we're not doing anything fast, we're going slow, and we want to get as accurate of hits as we possibly can, which sometimes that's what you need to do. However, if we're doing CQB and somebody's 3 feet away from me, I kind of almost don't give a fuck at all about accuracy. I just need to get them shot right now. Okay, so every target and every situation is a balance between the necessary accuracy and the necessary speed to hit that target in the situation that you're in. As we begin to need to increase speed, we're going to have to sacrifice accuracy, right? Some things are always true. We're never trying to jerk a trigger, right? Sight alignment is always a thing. Sight picture is always a thing, though sometimes we might be shooting so fast that we don't have a sight picture for every shot, or we might not be waiting on a perfect sight picture to break a shot. However, we're always attempting to find and adjust our sight picture. Even if we're shooting like full auto, crazy fast or whatever, we're attempting to get a hold of our sights and make adjustments properly on the target while we're letting those bursts rip. Okay, right, shooting position will change. Obviously, that's a whole nother, I'll talk more about that in another video, but if we don't have time to establish a super badass position or get in the prone or whatever the case is, right, obviously, this will completely go out the door and we'll just get those rounds off as fast as we can. Natural point of aim is predicated by shooting position. Breathing control, right, this is another one that goes out the window. In a CQB environment, nobody's thinking about their breaths. They're just moving and shooting, right? Much less they're walking and running and shooting, much less they're definitely not holding their breath. So sight alignment, sight picture, and trigger control are the most fundamental aspects of marksmanship, right? And even no matter how fast we're going, we're doing our best to do good trigger control and have good sight alignment and pick up a good sight picture while we're shooting. Even if we're going as absolute fast as we can, sacrificing every bit of accuracy we can, we're still doing those things. So everywhere in between shooting 1,000 yards away and taking 2 minutes to set up your shot and shooting at somebody that's on the other side of the room as fast as we possibly can, it's a give and a take for that target, for that shooter, for that situation. How much are we sacrificing for accuracy to get the speed that's required, right? That is basic marksmanship. The end.